Thank you all so much for being here this evening. I'm Rachel Romig. I'm the person that's been emailing you over and over again. My colleague Devin is also on the call. She's the one that's been sending you the Zoom link. So you feel free to reach out to Devin or myself with any questions you have following this, and we will help you. But there are some of you on the info session today that are already booked for the trip, which is extremely exciting. And I have Ian here from Aventura, who will be sharing the presentation. So we ask that you just please mute yourselves for the presentation, and then we're going to take all Q&A at the end. So as we go through, I have a feeling that Ian will probably answer a lot of questions that you might have up front. And then at the end, if there are any outstanding questions, we can get those answered for you. So at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Ian. And welcome, Ian. Thanks for being here with us. And again, if we could be in person, it could be a little more festive. But so let's just pretend we're all on the way.
Well, thank you very much for having me here today. And it's a pleasure to finally be presenting this evening. It seems like we've been planning this trip for a while, and we're finally here in the presentation stage. Rachel, thank you for having me here. The Chamber over the years has done a wonderful, wonderful job of selecting interesting and vibrant destinations for their international awareness programs. And this particular year, Greece is another fabulous destination, a destination of history spanning centuries, beautiful architecture, Greek mythology, a warm and inviting, friendly people, and yes, some of the best, well, it has to be the best feta cheese anywhere in the world. It is spectacular. It's one of the first things, well, maybe the ouzo first, and then feta cheese straight after that is what I sample when I go to Greece each time. In a moment, with the aid of slides, we're going to go through this particular trip. October the 30th through to November the 9th is the base program. There's a reason why we're offering this program at this time of year, and we're going to be able to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But a great time. It's almost a Southern California climate. So you know better than I do what the weather's going to be like in Pennsylvania at the end of October, beginning of November. And why not? I'm going to hazard a guess of saying, why not escape a little bit of cold weather, maybe a bit of dreary weather, and head out to Greece and a spot of sunshine for a week to 10 days, and just break the winter up a little bit. Maybe get some Christmas shopping done at the same time. So before we discuss about the trip itself, I'd like to talk a little bit about Aventura World. Now, as we're going along, yes, we would like to, there's quite a few people reserved for this webinar, so it often gets a little bit difficult to answer questions verbally or questions backwards and forwards being spoken to me. So you'll find on the chat feature, on the toolbar. It's usually right at the very, very end of the right-hand side. And sometimes there's three little dots. Click on that and it brings a pull down and there'll be a chat there. Use that chat feature, and at the very end, we'll come up and do our best, our utmost to answer your questions at the end. So before we get to Greece, let's talk about who is Aventura World. So Aventura World's been in business since 1972, and we class ourselves as a leader in the value-priced group travel marketplace. Now, we are a member of Sakara International Travel Group with thousands of employees worldwide, offices on the east and the west coast of the United States, as well as Paris, Rome, London, Delhi, and Cairo. We're dedicated to bringing the treasures of the world to you. I'm going to take that one step further on this particular case. The treasures of the world at a relaxed pace. In this particular format, we class this style of program as our cruise philosophy on land. What I mean by that is it's very similar to going on a cruise ship, maybe flying down to Miami, getting on a cruise ship and cruising for 7 nights. Yes, that's what we're doing, but we're on the land this time. So we're going to fly over to Athens, get on a motor coach, go across to our hotel, unpack your suitcase, take the creases out of clothes and relax for 7 nights, like you would on a cruise. No constant packing and unpacking. Hopefully, what is different to us and a cruise is our hotel doesn't move in the evening to another place. We move in the day. Northbound one day, east, south, or west another day, experiencing different cultures, different histories, different adventures, seeing different sights. And by doing that, again, no constant packing and unpacking. It's very, very refreshing in today's day and age. We're also the official travel provider of the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives, which the Greater Reading Chamber is a member of. We're very proud to be that entity. We follow their standards of quality and codes of ethics. And again, we're very proud. Now, we are not a travel agent. We are a travel wholesaler, and I make that distinction. By being a travel wholesaler, we contract directly at the source. Hotels, restaurants, bus companies, airlines, guides, and all points in between. By doing that, we don't have a middleman. So we can create an extremely good program at an extremely value price. We're also a company that has changed. I think in the last year, we've all changed in one shape or another. The travel industry has changed tremendously. So we're going, as we go through the presentation, I'll point out a few places where we have changed our model, and we've trying to make it the experience as easy as possible for you to book and have safety and assurances with that booking. Lastly, we class ourselves as a leader in value price first-class travel programs in the United States. Once we get to the included features page, we hope you agree with that statement when you see everything that's included in this trip. Now, nearly there. We're soon going to be on that flight, and we're going to be heading to Greece. If I was stood in front of you, which I normally would, I'd be saying, open the brochure right now. And we've got a picture of the brochure right there. And here is the brochure that we'll be going through. If you don't have the ability to see it, it's on the Chamber's website. You can download it, print it up, do whatever you'd like, but this is what we're going to be going through. If you've got friends, family members who couldn't be here this evening, let them know where the brochure is. This is a recording, so the recording is going to be somewhere around. They'll be able to view the recording, but importantly, you don't have to be from Pennsylvania to go on this trip. You don't have to be from the East Coast. You might have family in Wichita. You might have friends in Washington State or ex-neighbors in California. Let them know you're going. We'd be happy to accommodate them out of their home airport gateway. And they could drop on the website and the Chamber website, pull everything down, get in touch with the Chamber and go from there. So it's an easy way to do it. You don't even have to be from the United States. We have international travelers that join US Chambers all the time. We've got a family in Australia that join us every year because they travel with a group from Kansas. So again, we'll be able to help and assist as we go through from their gateway. So without further ado, oh wait, breaking news. So breaking news, things are changing. Greece, as of Sunday, made an announcement that as of May the 14th, they will be allowing vaccinated travelers into Greece without any issues at all. I spoke to the hotel owner. He said, not only will we be accepting vaccinated travelers into Greece, I'll personally kiss them both on both cheeks twice when you arrive at the airport. So things are starting to move in the tourism format, in opening destinations. Governments have been in the format of vaccine rollout. As vaccine rollouts are becoming a set routine for them, now they're getting into opening up countries. So national governments are opening up opening up their country to foreign nationals. So Greece is the first one that has just announced it. British Airways just came out the day after with an announcement, the same thing, virtually, to fly on their aircrafts. If you haven't got a vaccine and you don't want to have a vaccine, put it like this: if you want a vaccine, you should be able to have it by then. But if you don't want one right now, the rules and regulations of that is that you'd have to have a negative COVID test 72 hours before you go, and that will allow you to get into Greece. But we'll talk more about that at the end. But this was great breaking news. This program, however, is going to bring forth spectacular coastal sceneries, sunrises in Kinetta on the base program, and sunsets in Santorini. You've got history spanning centuries and cultures and traditions. Yes, far different than in Pennsylvania or on the eastern seaboard. We've got world famous sites like Santorini, the Parthenon, great food, great drinks. As I mentioned earlier, the best feta cheese anywhere. You can have a feta salad for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can eat it until it comes out of your ears. I do when I go there. I overload on their feta cheese and their wonderful olives. There's also great other dishes whilst there. Now, it also has wonderful, friendly English-speaking people. There's a romance between the American traveler and the Greek nation, and they've always got on for many, many years, and I'm sure experienced this. Lastly, all this wrapped up with traveling with friends, chamber friends, friends and family on a fabulous trip in the fall of 2021. Day one, we'll find ourselves. We're going to be on a bus from Lebanon heading up to Newark, New Jersey, where we'll be flying out of Newark into Greece. Greece will be arriving into, after an overnight flight, into Athens in day two, historically somewhere in mid-afternoon period. And welcome to Athens. Athens has a brand new airport. It's a small airport, to say it's the major airport of the country. It's the capital city, but it's a small airport on the outskirts of town. So we don't need to get into the hub and bub of the capital city on this particular case. But as soon as you arrive at Athens airport, we have lots of stuff for you. As soon as you arrive at the airport, we have our airport representative inside the secure area of the airport, usually stood somewhere close to the baggage carousel with a sign of Eventport World, pointing out the baggage carousel to go to. After that, he'll point you through customs and immigration. And once you get outside, you'll be met by our tour director. Our tour director has the responsibility to get you to and from the airport in Athens and to make sure that the plane takes off and to wave you goodbye from a distance. And they will be also at the hotel having hospitality hours in the morning and the evening to make sure that if there's anything they can help you with at the hotel, they will. We've also got guides that take you on all the tours that bring the destination to life, as well as drivers too. But you'll find there's a lot of people there to help you out. We have modern air-conditioned motor coaches, high visibility windows, and yes, everything you'll need for a great trip. Now, as I mentioned, we're in Kinetta. Kinetta, where is Kinetta? That's a good question. Now, Kinetta is about an hour and 15 minutes outside Athens, and it really, on this map, it's round about where this.
I can't get it on my TV. It won't start.
The dot of the second T right here is where Kinetta is, and it's a great place to be using this as your home. So here we are at the Kinetta Resort. The Kinetta Resort is a first-class Greek-style hotel. We've been using it for years. Clean, comfortable. We are in the renovated, as they call them, the American rooms. The American rooms have walk-in showers. So it's not the typical European shower that you put your foot over the bath, walk into the bath, and there's an attachment on the taps for the showers. No, these are renovated rooms. So as you can see it, it's right on the beach itself. There's lots of olives, citrus groves all the way around. There's a couple of pools. Here's the rooms that we historically use right here. And then these sections here, they're all low rise, 1 pool, 2 pools. The main dining room is here. The bar is right here. And again, great location. There's a second restaurant under this pie-shaped room here, but these are the rooms we use, and you can see all have balconies. Here we are in the rooms, stylish, all with private bathrooms, showers, hairdryer, flat screen TV and radio, safe box, electronic, credit card keys, Wi-Fi, direct dial telephones, air conditioning, heat, mini fridge, double, twin bedded rooms, and balcony. All have balconies. It's a run of the house basis. Majority of these rooms are garden. It's a garden setting. There are very, very few that have ocean view. So virtually everybody on this particular program gets a garden view. But it is it's lush gardens, green gardens, and it's a nice setting. Here we are in the restaurants and bar. This here is the main restaurant right there on the waterfront itself. The bar here. Now, one of the things you may have seen on the actual brochure is your drinks are included at the bar in the evening. So the bar is supposed to close at 11:45 in the evening. I've never seen it close yet while ever somebody is there. I've never seen them run out of any alcohol. You've got whiskey, rum, gins, beers, wines, soft drinks. Never seen them run out. Never seen them close, ever. Beautiful patio, straight overlooking the ocean. It's beautiful. Now, dinner at the hotel, wine is included. Again, I've never known them run out of wine. It's by the carafe, red or white. When it's gone, boom, there comes another. So it is great. Here's the smaller restaurant, as I mentioned, underneath the pie-shaped building. Sometimes we use that. Now, this is my favorite spot of all the hotel right here, because this is the balcony in front of the main dining room. This is a place where you might find yourself on day 3. You've just flown, you're still on East Coast time, you wake up early, come out here for breakfast, watch the sun come up over the Porthos or Aegea, the islands right there, have a cup of coffee, maybe have breakfast or just have a cup of coffee, come back for breakfast a little later and just realize, wow, I'm on the beach in Greece. Wow, it's fabulous. Here we have the beach, one of the swimming pools. I'm not sure if you're going to be using the swimming pool unless you're a hardy traveler. But I do, if there's anybody coming in from the Dakotas, from Minnesota, they'll be in the ocean. They'll be in the ocean. They're a hardy bunch, those people from up in the way north. But first night's a night to settle in, take it easy. Have your dinner, head to the bar, drink as much ouzo, the local liquor, as you can. And the next morning, sunrise on the balcony. And here we are again. This is the balcony right here in front of the restaurant. Have breakfast outside, and then we'll be heading to Athens. We have 2 visits to Athens in all aspects. We could do our Athens program in one day, but we don't want to rush you. We believe it would be doing you an injustice if we tried to cram everything in one day. Don't forget, we're on the outskirts. We're an hour out of Athens. So we also want to give you as much shopping time and as much of an Athenian experience as possible. So this particular first section, we're going to be doing the Athens city tour. which is going to be including the Acropolis too. So we'll see the stadium, home of the modern Olympic Games, not the ancient Olympic Games, but the modern game dating back to 1896, still used today. You'll probably see people running around the track, exercising, sat around reading books, just enjoying life. Greece and Athens, even though it's the capital city, it's a relaxed atmosphere. People really, really take their time in Greece. We'll continue to the Arch of Adrian and the Temple of the Olympian Zeus, over to Constitution Square, where we'll see the Parliament building and the memorial of the unknown soldier. Architecture is spectacular. The carvings and statues throughout Athens is wonderful. And here we are in the Academy. The National Library, you'll find all different types of architecture here. We've got a statue of Plato right in front of the Academy here. We'll finish up in Constitution Square, the hub of life in Athens and the cultural hub. Continuing on, we'll head to the Acropolis, which dates back to 447 BC, and it was built during the height of the Athenian Empire. Spectacular views from all Athens, from the Acropolis and the Parthenon area. And here we're going to be bringing the life of the Parthenon, the Acropolis, yes, together with our guides. Our guides have forgotten more about Greece, its history, its current day events, its forecast for the future, for its Greek mythology than we'll ever know. And they're going to bring it to life to you. Spectacular guides. Here we are in the Parthenon itself. It's just been renovated. Whether you catch it at night, which is what, just at dusk hours, which is what this is, it turns orange or golden in the evenings. It's bright white in the day. Great photographs and a great time to relax and just, again, I can't believe it. I'm in Greece. I'm in Athens. Come back to the hotel that evening after a bit of free time and wandering, and then dinner at the hotel, head to the bar, meet the barman, have a few drinks inside or outside on the balcony. Day 4, we've got another included tour. We're heading to the Peloponnese Peninsula, beautiful mountainsides, agricultural lands. And we're first of all in Acadia, synonymous type of a town here, built in the mountains on the steep hillsides, beautiful architecture. We'll drive through on our way to Mysia, to Homeric city, and we're here to visit the graves and the tombs, which this area is famous for. Again, it has spectacular views all the way around the peninsula. We'll see the Lion's Gate, which is the main entrance to the site itself, and its cyclopean walls. For those people who've been to Machu Picchu, this is Greece's version of that, because these stones were carved miles and miles and miles away from where it is. Without machineries, they brought in the stones. They were carved exactly to fit, placed the stones without lifts or cranes, up to 30 to 40 feet high in some places, and they fit without concrete or mortar. Spectacular. We'll continue on to the Beehive tombs. The Beehive tombs, again, fabulous pieces of engineering. No mortar, no concrete. Each stone holds the next stone into place. And finally, it's placed all together with the main stone at the top, which holds the entire thing in a honeycomb variety. These tombs, royalty, were buried here. And then once they were buried, the tombs were buried under mounds and mounds of soil. They weren't found for a long, long time. Today, we're able to go inside and view in awe the way that they were constructed. We'll continue after that to the amphitheater, dedicated to the Greek god of medicine. It's still used today. The acoustics is unbelievable. This is a shot of December 2019, when I was here last. Right down at the bottom on the stage, there is a dot. That's a small boy from America. He was reciting a nursery rhyme, and you can hear it right in the cheap seats at the very, very top. Spectacular. We'll continue on after that to one of the most beautiful coastal towns around the Athens area, Napoleon. It's known for its fortification that guards the downtown itself. Our emphasis is going downtown and experiencing the narrow cobbled streets, the beautiful shops. It's time to maybe augment a little bit of the Greek economy with a bit of shopping whilst there. Gold is 24 karat gold. You've got evil eyes, leather goods. Clothing is lovely around here. It's typical European flair. Sit and have a coffee and a slice of cake and just watch the world go by. And then after our free time for shopping here, we'll go to learn about olive oil. For those people who have traveled with us on our land programs in the past, we have what's called our cultural discovery series. We want you to see the sights and sounds of the area, like the Parthenon, the Corinth Canal, maybe Delphi and Olympia. But it's an important part of who we are when we plan tours, that we want to get you a little bit off the beaten track, to learn about its people, a little bit about business, maybe some entrepreneurship in an educational format, so you get a more rounded understanding of life in the country. So we're going to be learning about olive oil production. October, November is the height of olive oil harvesting. So we're going to be going to a family-run, I'm going to say plant. It's not an industrial factory, but it's well known in the area for its organic or non-organic olive oils. And you'll find farmers coming in their tractors, in their trucks with large plastic vats such as this. From here, it goes into the sorting process and the washing process. Separate places in the plant for organic or just normal. And it goes through the washing process, gets rid of all the leaves and stems. And now you've got first press virgin olive oil. Through an educational questions and answers period, you'll learn what's the difference between first press, second press, and as they would call it, engine oil, that you might use for cooking or something like that. They don't make any of that. They only make first press here, virgin. Everything after that, they sell the stones, they sell the shell of the olive to somebody else, where they'll heat it up and extract every bit of olive oil out of that they possibly can. Through members of the family that are in the plant itself, we'll have a tasting of olive oil on bread, and then we'll learn about the extraction and all about olives and olive oil. The emphasis is education, but you have the opportunity to purchase if you wish, whether it's olives in the bottle, olive oil. You can get chocolate made from olives. Now, I've run out of it, so my crow's feet are starting to show a little bit, but they even have face creams, fabulous face creams from olives. And when you put it on, you can feel your face tightening up. So I need to get back to get some more of that. Back to the hotel after this, dinner, drinks, rest up. Day 5 will be upon us, and it's another included tour. Now we're going on the Corinth Canal. Either a boat will be waiting for us in front of our hotel at the jetty, or we're going to a small fishing village close to the Corinth Canal itself. Now, the Corinth Canal cuts between the Gulf of Corinth and the Saronic Gulf. We're on the Saronic Gulf, but we'll be heading through by boat through the Peloponnese Peninsula. Now, in today's standards, it would take you a full day to go all the way around the Corinth Peninsula to get to the opposite side. So this is a real good shortcut for boats of today. It's a working Canal. It's different than the Panama Canal or any other canal you've been on because it's on the Mediterranean. So you'll find that there is much up and down of tides. So there's no need for locks to lift the boats up and down. It's basically a channel that's been cut deep into the cliff face itself. And here we are going through the canal itself. It's about a 4-mile trip there and a 4-mile trip back. We go through, turn around and come the opposite way. On a good day, we might find people bungee jumping off of the bridges here, but here we are inside the canal itself. We've got the old bridge, which now is a footpath. We've got the new concrete road bridge, and we've got the rail bridge there, taking people across to the Corinth Canal. Once we're there at the opposite end, we'll turn around and there's a few Roman statues carved into the rock face itself. And we'll come back again to another section of our cultural discovery series. Whenever humanly possible, we like to have alcohol involved in our cultural discovery series. For some reason, it always goes down well. I don't know why, but it always does. So now we're learning about ouzo. Now, if you don't know what ouzo is, I'm going to tell you. It's the Greek version of Pernod, or the Greek version of the Turkish drink rakia. So it's an anisette liqueur that when you pour it in your glass and you put ice or water in it, it turns white. Now, if you are in Greece, don't acknowledge Pernod, don't acknowledge rakia. This is the best anisette drink I've ever had. There isn't one like it anywhere else in the world, and you'll go down great in Greece. Whilst we're here, though, we can't have a drink without something to eat. So we stop at a restaurant actually on the banks of the Corinth Canal, and we'll have calamari. Historically, we have calamari, maybe some fried shrimp, some fried fish, and sample ouzo at the same time. But this is what we're here for. Not only to see and sample ouzo, many people have seen tankers moored in the harbor or in a port, but very few people have seen a tanker moving at a decent speed, only 30 to 40 feet away from them, and coming down a river, shall we say, because it's really only as wide as a river. So it's a fabulous way to experience something a little bit different. It's a half-day tour. We'll come back to the hotel, relax, and take it easy. Dinner and drinks. The next day, day 6, and we're moving along. I must be frank, we're going to go through this presentation in a brief format. We could still be talking about this trip if I went through it in its entirety tomorrow. So that's why we'll open up at questions and answers at the end. Now, day 6, our Delphi tour, is an optional tour, or is it really? As long as you reserve with a deposit by April the 9th, it's free of charge. So why not sign up by April the 9th and get a free tour? If you reserve after that, it's $169. So why not sign up? Now, Delphi is in the mountains above the Peloponnese Peninsula. So we'll be looking down on those olive plantations and such things as that. Now, Delphi was an opulent pilgrimage site for ancient Athenians. It was a religious site. It was draped in gold, statues, precious, semi-precious stones, marble walkways, mosaics everywhere. And it's a gentle walk up a slow incline on a walkway. And we'll be seeing the Temple of Apollo. We'll continue to the Temple of Athena and the sanctuary, the treasure where all the money would have been. And you can see the beautiful architecture that we've got here. And our guides are going to bring this city to life to you. We'll continue to the Temple of Apollo and the ancient stadium. The ancient stadium could still be used today. The seats are there. The ground for the sporting event is there, and you'll be able to look across the valley below into all those olive plantations. You were there just recently. After that, we'll continue on to the Delphi Museum. The Delphi Museum is at the entrance of the site itself. Here we're going to be viewing, it's a small, intimate museum, but many of the statues, carvings, mosaic from the museum itself. There's even some precious items. Most of the precious items were moved to the new Acropolis Museum, which is on our second trip back to Athens. But there's still some precious items here. We've got some crowns, we've got earrings, necklaces, and we've got mannequins that was used to store these jewelry items. I'm sure you've all got these at home on your dressing table. You've got your mannequin to put your earrings in, right? And your crown on top. These are all ivory, all from the time of Delphi's heyday. We'll come back to the hotel after this and relax, and again, dinner and drinks, dinner and relaxation. Now, day 7, as long as you sign up on or before April the 9th, this is your only optional day. Okay, only optional day. We offer this as an option just in case you want to relax by the beach, read a book, do whatever you want. Now, a quarter of a mile from our hotel is the train station. In the easterly bound direction, it takes you into Athens. Every hour, approximately, there's a train. The opposite direction, it takes you across the Corinth Canal and into the into the Corinth Peninsula. Some people rent a car from the hotel. There's a car rental place. Some have rented minibuses. But if you want to, and you want to go on a tour with the Only Man, we're heading to Olympia today. One thing too, if you don't take this tour, your lunch is still included. Your breakfast is at the hotel always, but if you don't go on the tour, your lunch will be served at the hotel itself. So you don't have to lose your lunch. If you're going on the tour, lunch will be served on the tour. Dinner will be back at the hotel when the rest of the group comes back. But most people have seen the Olympics on the TV. Some people have been lucky and actually seen the Olympics in person. You're now going to the place where the Olympics started, the ancient Olympic Games started, the site of Olympia. We'll see the birthplace of the Olympic, the temple of Hydra, the temple of Zeus, and we'll be seeing the ancient stadium. This is the section where the marathon runners would be finishing their marathon. They'd come along here through the archway right in front of us into the arena itself, run around the arena, and they're finished. It's an extremely moving place. As I said, we've all seen the Olympics, but to actually be in the stadium, and if you have a bit of athleticism, to run a lap of the stadium, that's a great bragging point. I've actually run the stadium of Olympia. We'll come back to the hotel, dinner, drinks. Yes. The next day, day 8, we've got an included tour. It's about a 3/4, just over a half a day tour. But we'll be heading back to Athens. This time, we're going to go to the pride and joy of modern Athens, the new Acropolis Museum. If we got any builders or any contractors on the call, you really need to come on this to see how easy you've got it in the United States. Because every time you dig a hole in Greece or in Athens, there's probably ruins underneath, artifacts. So as we go through the museum, you'll find lots of these glass floorways. You can see them here and here. And as you're going through the museum, you'll find glass floors. That is ancient Greece. When they started the excavations for the new museum, they had to stop and bring in a curator to start digging around to save them. So they've kept them in place, and we'll see some more in a moment. We're going here to visit the most prominent parts. We could spend 2 days in this museum, but the most important sections of Greek Bronze Age, Byzantine and Roman period, and of course, the height of the Athenian Empire. Here we've got a shot of some of those ruins underneath the museum itself. Now, as I mentioned, if you're on a tour, your lunch is included in a local restaurant on the tour. So we'll be continuing on today, and we've got lunch in Athens, downtown Athens. After that, we'll continue on to the Plakea district, the old town, shall we say, the UNESCO Heritage Old section of Athens, where we'll have a mini guided tour and turn you loose. Again, do some shopping, go into the local markets, souvenir shops, jewelry outlets, buy your evil eyes to protect you from evil spirits. And really have a fabulous last day's experience to buy, maybe some Christmas presents or do your last minute shopping. And before we know it, this is our last night, last dinner, last drinks at the bar, and day 9 will be upon us, and we'll be flying back to the United States with, oops, what happened there? We'll be flying back to the United States with spectacular memories of ancient Greece and Athens. History spanning centuries, not just, also mythology. You've got architecture and newfound friendship, whether it be with fellow friends, family members, fellow Greater Reading Chamber travelers. And welcome to the family of Aventura World. When you travel with us, you're safe and secure in our hands, as our guests have been since 1972. Now, what do we get on this program? Now, I think we get a lot. So we have, first of all, round-trip bus transportation to Newark from the Lebanon Valley area. And we'll have a set location where, and we'll be talking on and informing you that's the later stage where that is going to be a pickup point. Now, we do have to put there with 20 people. Now, right this moment, we have, I think, 13 or 15 people already signed up and reserved for this trip. So I'm not in any concern that we're not going to have enough people to operate the bus. But we've got round trip, whether you're on the main program or the extension program, there and back. We've got air from Newark. We've got 7 nights in the Kinetta Resort, first class Greek hotel. We've got all your meals, daily breakfast, daily lunches, daily dinners. Dinners are with wine. We've got your drinks at the bar in the evening, local non-alcoholic and alcoholic beverages. So great, a lot included. We've got, as long as you sign up on or before April the 9th, you've got all your day tours except one. And that one additional is Olympia. Okay, and it works really well. This program we've been operating for a long time. Really, our hotel we use for sleeping, for drinking, and eating. Because other than that, we're touring and we're going in opposite directions every day. So it gives us a great opportunity to use a base and no constant packing and unpacking. So we've got 2 trips into Athens. We've got one with the Acropolis and the main Greek sites. We've got the second one with the Acropolis Museum and the Plakea district. We've got the Corinth Canal. We've got the Peloponnese Peninsula. And again, if you sign up before the early bird discount expires, we have the Delphi tour too. We've got our cultural discovery series, olive oil production. We've got the ouzo production. We've got a couple of questions and answers periods too. We have guest lecturers come in, usually they're college professors from the Athens University. One historically that we operate is the euro and Greece within the euro. So if you know a little bit about euro, the European Union and the Parliament, you'll get a little bit more, and you'll get a little bit more confusion because it is a confusing entity, the Greek, the European Union. The other one is the Greek way of life. The Greek way of life, they're a different nation in Greece. And they bring out a whole different way. And it's a lovely way to, again, to learn a little bit about another nation. We have our tour director, we have our airport representative, and we have our guides on the program for you. We have deluxe air-conditioned motor coaches, baggage handling for one piece of luggage underneath the aircraft and go in and out of the hotel. Now, all this is for $29.99 a person, double occupancy, $5.99 a person single supplement. For single supplement, no arguments on what you want to watch on the TV in the evening. You can watch whatever you want. So now I'm hopeful that you can see the value that we bring. Coach from Lebanon, air from Newark, 7 nights, all your meals, all your drinks, all your tours except one. My goodness, this is tremendous value for $1 short of $3,000. Now, fuel surcharges are included in the program. Now, Greek land taxes, occupancy taxes are additional at $150 a person. You'll be charged for those at final payment. But we do need to keep the knowledge that that's not included. The price we have of $29.99 is an early bird special. As long as reserved by April on April the 9th or before April the 9th, that's the price, and you get Delphi included. After the 9th, it goes up $100 a person, and you pay $169 for the Delphi trip. So if you do sign up before the April the 19th or on the April 9th deadline, you save $269 a person. Better to be in your pocket than our pocket. Why not sign up and secure your spot? This particular program is what we call a level 3. A level 3, our traveling guests are historically 60 and above. So we don't do treks in the Himalayas with backpacks and we provide a yak to you. No, that's not who we are. We are a company that services the mature American traveler for their travel and adventure needs, and adventure through travel. So this criteria would be on and off of buses. You need to be able to take a few steps here and there, be able to manage some cobblestones, but really that's about it. You'd need to be in, okay health to do this trip. Now, whilst there, however, 65% of our travelers say, I'm already there, I want to spend a little bit longer. So on this particular program, we have an optional extension for 2 nights to Santorini, the Greek islands, the famous volcanic Greek island. From November the 7th through to the 9th, we have 2 nights in Santorini, 2 nights at a first-class hotel. We've got flights return from Athens to Santorini and return. We've got daily breakfast. We've got a full-day tour of Santorini, including wine tasting. We've got a professional tour director on the program. We've got our baggage handling. $7.99 a person, double occupancy, 1,098 single occupancy. When you head to the airport, and those people who, I'm going to say unwisely, decided not to go to Santorini, you'll wave goodbye to them. They'll get on a flight to go to the United States. You'll get on a quick flight, 45 minutes up and down, and you'll be on the volcanic island of Santorini. This day is a travel day. Get you there, relax, just live and breathe the island of Santorini with its beautiful waters, its rocky volcanic cliffs, and its sunsets and sunrises, of course. Day 10 will be upon us, and we'll have our Santorini island tour. Well, first we'll be seeing Peloponnese, the monastery, which holds spectacular views all around the island. Here we're looking back at the airport that we were at the day before. We'll continue on to Pygos with its multicolored houses, going up to the Greek Orthodox Church at the very top of the hill itself. We'll continue on to the Wine Museum. When I was a boy, Greek wine wasn't worth anything at all. Over the years, they've done a wonderful job of bringing wine into some of the best wine in Europe. We'll go through the history of winemaking in Greece, and we'll have a little bit of sampling too. Continuing on to Oya, which is the quintessential Santorini experience. The narrow cobble streets, the whitewashed walls, the multicolored buildings, and again, those whitewashed buildings with those sky blue onion dome style roofs. Before we know it, 2 nights will have gone past and we'll be watching our last sunset, and day 11 will be upon us. We'll head back to the airport in Santorini for a quick flight back to Athens with a connection through to the flight to the United States, again, with memories of ancient Greece, culture and traditions, Greek mythology, spanning centuries upon centuries, and beautiful coastal scenes and world famous sites. US citizens, US passport holders, no, we're part of the European community right now. No passports are required. Sorry, I apologize. Passports are required, but no visas are required. Upon arrival at our first port of entry in Europe, we'll get a stamp in our passport, and that's your visa, good for 90 days, multiple entry. You'll need 6 months left on your passport from your last day of the trip and 2 blank pages. That's all you're going to need on this particular program to get you in and out of the program. How do we sign up? Nice and easy. There's 2 ways to sign up. One is using the paper registration form on the back of the brochure, which we're looking at here. And then there's the internet booking engine. I'm going to point out a couple of things here for you. So as we look here, we'll find the booking number right here. All the chamber information right here. And then there's the booking engine information, eventoral.com/booking, and the booking code is right here. It's also up here too. So we've got it right here. I'll tell you why you need that in a moment. So first name, middle initial, however it is on your passport, last name, circle what we've got right here. Date of birth, passport number, country of issue, expiration date. Now, if you don't have a passport, please do not wait until your passport arrives to reserve for this trip. As of this month, there isn't a group traveler out there that hasn't traveled. Well, basically, an American traveler in a group format hasn't traveled for a year. With the advances of what's happening, vaccinations rolling out, with the fact that a US adult that wants a vaccine will be vaccinated by the end of May, and the fact that Greece is opening up the country to vaccinated US travelers, this trip is going to sell out. So don't wait to sign up when you get your passport. If you've got an expired passport, give us your name as it appears in the passport. And then get your passport number, or a copy of your passport over to us later when you get it. The Greater Reading Chamber is not the only chamber on this date. So do keep that in mind too. So to avoid disappointment when this trip sells out, not if it sells out, but when it sells out, please sign up sooner than later. Again, we assess that the fall of 2021 is going to be the busiest last quarter for travel for decades, and probably going to get 1 year's worth of travel in the last 3 months of the year. So your mailing address, city, state, zip code, email address, home phone number, and cell phone. If you're a single, tick that box, and it's $5.99 single supplement. If you're a double or a twin, tick that box and circle which bed you would like, and then indicate who you're sharing the room with. We require 1 registration form per person. So if there's 2 of you in the room, we require 2. So John and Alice Smith, John fills this one out, puts his details in there, says Alice is traveling with him, and then Alice is going to fill it out here and put John Smith here. So we know who is traveling together. If there's 2 men sharing the same room, 2 women sharing the same room, use the said same philosophy, so we know who you're sharing the room with. Notes, anything you need us to know about you as a traveler, let us know. Dietary meals can be arranged, low sodium, fat-free, that type of thing can be arranged with advance notice. If you're traveling with friends close to each other, and you'd like to have rooms close to each other, can't always guarantee next door. And Europe historically don't have adjoining rooms, so that's not something that really can be done. But we can usually get you really close, put rooms close to have their last name and have them do the same with you. Now we get into a little worksheet for you. Delphi, yes, I want it. No, I don't. It's free if you reserve on or before April the 9th, but if you're violently opposed to going to Delphi, say no, you get it free anyhow. But tick whatever you'd like. Yes, I'd like the Olympia tour. No, I wouldn't. Santorini, yes, extension. No, not interested. And if you're a single, let that know. Total up the amount of the touring. If you are signing up before or on the 9th, you don't need to include the amount for the Delphi tours. It's free of charge here. So if you just wanted the Olympia tour, just drop in 169, or yeah, that's how much you'd put in there. And then we've got a worksheet. For those people who've traveled with us before, you might have witnessed an evolution of our registration form. This section here is designed so you know the price of the trip, so you can look to see which bracket you're in for travel protection, travel insurance. So it's important for us to understand, to make you understand how important we think insurance is. So we start with, there's two columns. The only difference of the columns is early bird discount, non-early bird discount. So drop in, it's $29.99 here. Optional tours, if you would like the optional tours, so it's $69 in here if it's an early bird reservation. Single supplement, drop it in here. Optional Santorini, drop it in here. Add the 150 and then total it up, and that's the amount that will drop down below for the optional travel insurance. I apologize, I feel like I'm in Greece at the moment. I'm going to take my sweater off. It's getting hot here. So there we have now the amount, so you can see how much the travel insurance is. Again, the only difference is early bird, non-early bird. If you've witnessed one of my presentations in the past, I say the same thing all the time. I hope you take out travel insurance, and I hope you waste your money on it. Because if you need the insurance, then something has happened on the trip to maybe take a little bit or a lot of your enjoyment away. So it's the time you don't take it out is the time you need it. So again, it's well worth protecting you and your investment with an insurance policy. Now, the insurance standard premium policy is cancelled for a reason. So a medical reason or an accident to you or an immediate family member. It will cover cancellations for the trip before you go. But it also covers medical on the trip, trip interruption, travel delays, misconnections, emergencies on the trip itself, lost luggage, personal effects, baggage delays. You'll see a telephone number right here and a link here. I'll show you where this link is in a moment. Now, one of the ways we have changed, we now offer cancel for any reason, and we recommend cancel for any reason. What happens? Well, the cancel for any reason is all this, but it is, I just don't want to go. The dog ran away. I'm not leaving. I had a terrible haircut last night. I'm not leaving. I'm not going on the trip. Or you can cancel all the way up to 48 hours before you go. So it gives you longer to see how the world's coming and how everything is. Now, if you book online, it will give you the pricing. But if you're booking using the paper registration, this only just happened that we brought out this agreement with our insurance provider. So we haven't had time to change the brochure. So the price of the the cancel for any reason is an extra 50%. So if we look at this price of the tour of $30.99 plus the taxes, that falls into the $3,000 to $3,500 price. This policy right here is $221. If you want to cancel for any reason whatsoever, it's an extra $110.50 a person, so it becomes $331.50. And we don't need to know, the insurance company doesn't need to know why you're canceling in any shape or form. If you cancel for a medical reason, it's covered too. Now, when you're buying insurance for cancel for any reason, there's a few rules. Now, you must purchase the cancel for any reason at the time of initial deposit. Otherwise, the insurance company doesn't cover you for this. You can only take out the standard premium coverage. And they will give you 65% of the penalty amount back, whatever penalty that you're out at the time you decide to cancel. If it's a medical reason, you get 100% of the cancellation back. But if it's just cancel because you didn't like your haircut, or the dog ran away, the cat ran away, then you get 65%. Now, however, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to go and put an X on your calendar. So we, as a company, are willing to give you, if you take out the cancel for any reason, we will augment that offer of 30. So you get 65% back in a refund, and you get 35% back from Aventura World in the form of a future travel credit. So in all aspects, you're 100% whole all the way through to the mix of refund and credits all the way through to 48 hours before you go. Now, as we look back at the brochure, again, we don't have it. Here's the link. If you go onto this link, it will give you all the details of the cancel for any reason. It'll give you the details of the standard policy too. If you are filling out a paper form and you want to have cancel for any reason, please tick which box it is, but up here, put cancel for any reason, and then indicate the additional 50% for the payment. Okay, for this. But if you go on the booking engine, you won't have to do that because it calculates it up. Yes, I want the travel protection. No, I don't. Please tick that box. If you don't, when you send in your reservation to the chamber, they'll call you and say, you didn't tick it. Are you sure you want it? Do you know how important it is? Yes, they'll indicate that. Then we've got a worksheet of how much is the deposit. $600 per person deposit to reserve your space, plus the optional tours. So the optional day tours, Delphi is included. You don't need to include that if it's an early bird. But if you'd like the Olympia tour, include this in here. The Santorini extension, yes. If you're going, include it in here, either a single or a double occupancy. Travel protection, included in there, either standard premium coverage or cancel for any reason. Please add the amount in here, total it up, and that's the amount that's due at the time of deposit. This amount here goes down to here. You drop it in here, and we'll talk about that in a moment. We take personal checks made out to Aventura World, as well as Visa, MasterCard, and Discover. Drop in your credit card number, security number, expiration date, name on the card. Now, one of the things that we learned in 2020 is there are many things out of our control, but what's within our control is planning. We don't know. I've got a crystal ball on my desk. It doesn't work. I've tried it. It just doesn't work. So what we did, we came out with planning. So we changed our cancellation policy all the way from the time of booking all the way up to 121 days before you go. You get your deposit back. You get your optional tours back. You get your extension back from Aventura World. No questions asked. So that gives you the opportunity to say, I'm going to reserve. I'm going to get the early bird deadline. I'm putting X on my calendar that on October the 30th, I'm going to Greece, and I'm planning on taking the freedom of travel back with me. And I have hope all the way up that I'm going. Now, all the way up to 121 days, again, nothing to lose from us. Travel insurance, however, once you have purchased it, it is non-refundable because it's working on your behalf. So please keep that in mind, that if you want the insurance, yes, that's non-refundable. And if you want the cancel for any reason, it must be purchased at the time of initial reservation. 2019 and 20 years before it, I was taking 3 international trips a year. I always take out travel insurance. That means I've taken it out 60 times. I've only used it twice. So in actual fact, 58 times I've wasted my money on it, and I'm happy with those odds because I didn't need to use it. The 2 times that I've used it, boy, did I need it. It paid for everything that I needed. So when you travel, always take out travel insurance. And in this case, go into the fact that you're wasting your money on it. There's no refund on it, but you can wait all the way up until 121 days, get my vaccination. I get a feeling that most of us already had your first, if not your second already. But you can see how the world is, and the world's getting better. And you can take cancel for any reason and go all the way up to 48 hours before you go to see how the world goes. So that's one way we've changed. Lastly, signature, date, get it into the chamber and they'll get it over to us. The booking portal. And this is an important section, and I'm nearly done, I promise. For those people who've traveled with us before, you might have reserved on the booking engine in the past. One of the ways we've changed is created an extra layer of security in our booking engine. It was always secure, but we've gone even further. Like Amazon Prime or most internet sites, we ask you now to make an account with us. So when you click on aventuraworld.com/booking, it will pull up this page of this lady with her tickets. You'll put in your first name, your last name, your email address, put a password, confirm the password, and there'll be a box just down here where you'll put the code in, you'll press submit. As soon as that happens, this will appear, this red will appear. Thank you for registration, and you should receive an email shortly to activate your account. Now, here it comes. It comes to you. It's automated. It's a computer. They don't break down unless they run out of power. And they don't break down in this case. So this will come to you. If it doesn't come to you in 15 minutes or so, if it doesn't come to you within an hour, it's gone into your spam. So check your spam. Check your shopping. There's various social spams as well as regular spams with Google Mail or AOL. So check all your spams. You'll find it. Click on this link right here, this blue button, and voila, it launches this. Welcome. Yeah, your account is now active. Put your password in, your email address. Again, to prove you're not a robot, put in the code in this box here, and here we are. Now we're at these, you'll only have to do this once. Unless you change your name, unless you change your passport, we'll come here and you'll build your profile. So you'll put your account profile in here. So you and your husband, you and your wife will be indicated in here. Your address, your date of birth, all those details will be there. And then it's saved on our secure server. After that, save, move on. You'll go to your passport information. You'll put your passport information in there. Save and move on. Any additional travelers that you want to be on your profile, maybe the kids, you put them in there. They don't have to travel with you to put them in here because there's a select and a deselect. One year they may travel with you, another year they may not. So that's all there. Once save, it's done. And now you're set for 2021. If you travel with us again in 2022, you don't have to do this because it's already done. You'll go straight to book now. And as once you've finished your profile, you press book now, and here you'll drop in the booking number, which is VHYMCR, which I showed you where it is on the brochure itself, and it will open the booking page specifically for the Greater Reading Chamber. It'll have their logo, it'll have the date, it'll have the brochure, and it'll have 6 easy steps. Passenger information, it'll have everybody in your account, and you'll select and deselect who's on this trip. Save, move on. It will then go into room occupancy. Do you want double? If there's 3 of you on there, it'll say, do you want a single and a double? Do you want a triple? What is it? Click, save, move on. Departure city. Air is included from Newark on this trip. But if you're going from a different gateway, we can assist with that. There's a section in there that says, no, I want air from a different gateway, and you type it where you get it, where the gateway is. Save, move on. Optional tours. If you reserve yourself before or on April the 9th, it will indicate that Delphi is free of charge. Would you like the Olympia tour? Do you want the extension? Yes, no, checkoffs. Save, move on. Travel protection. Now, this is where it makes it a little easier. It has the standard premium policy, as well as it has the cancel for any reason. And the pricing of each is there. And if you wish to, you can click on a link and it will open up the policy there and then. So it makes it easier if you sign up online for the insurance, because it gives you the option. Save, move on, and you're in number 6, and you review just to make sure everything is set and everything is done and everything is right. Put in your payment, save and process, and then we gain the information. You'll gain notification that we're in possession of your reservation, and the chamber gets your name, your email address, and a telephone that you've reserved. Nice and easy. We certainly hope you'll join us on a terrific travel year in 2021. And questions?
Thanks so much, Ian. We did have some questions coming through. What is the maximum number of people on any of the tours?
Right.
This tour, and since we have a couple different chambers, and then tours in general
Yes.
for the trip.
So currently, and planning, I mentioned, if you remember, I mentioned about one of the things within our control right now is planning. So we're currently planning to operate this program under social distancing rules and regulations. Now, we don't know if we'll end up operating on that, but historically, our motor coaches are 50 to 55 seater coaches. We don't fill more than 42, 43 per coach. Under social distancing rules, we put approximately 50% occupancy on the coaches themselves. So right now under social distancing, there'll be nobody in front of you, behind you, or to the side of you, left or right, depending on which side of the bus you're on. Okay, that's the way it is. Whether if things are back to normal, then we won't be under social distancing, and we won't be filling the bus to capacity. There may be more than one bus, and there will be more than one bus on the program, but each person will have their own guide and obviously their own driver, and it will be filled to one of those levels.
Great, thank you. What is the typical day length, and including kind of time of breakfast to time of dinner?
Yeah. Breakfast is from 6 o'clock in the morning. And again, you'll find the hotel is very accommodating. I've actually been around before it's opened, and I walk in there and somebody will bring me a cup of coffee. But 6 o'clock through till 9:30 is historically the breakfast times. Now, having said that, we usually bring up most of the rooms in this hotel as a company in this particular period of time. So lunch will be there if you don't go on the tour, and in the evening, dependent on the tour, dinners will be from 7 through till 8:30, somewhere like that. Half-day tours are historically 5 hours in length, 4 to 5 hours. So the Corinth Canal is about 4 hours. The city tour of Athens, the first one, about 5.5. The one after that is about 5.5. The Peloponnese Peninsula, about an 8-hour tour. The little bit longer is Delphi and Olympia, just because of the distance and the beauty of the mountainsides and the places we visit. So they historically are in a vicinity of an 11 to 12-hour day, okay, including rest stops, including lunch, including touring along the way. So those are historically a little bit longer than what we normally do. But again, there's so much to learn on the bus and so much to see as we're going along. Yes, you'll love them.
Okay. Do guests have the option if they don't want to go on a day tour that wasn't like a special tour, and just go explore instead?
Of course, of course, of course. And our tour director at the hotel will be able to tell you how to get from point A to point B. Yes, without a doubt, without a doubt. If you want, again, if you want to rent a car, you can rent a car from the hotel. Very few do, but you can. Yes, you can.
Do we know any approximate flight times yet?
Great question. But I'll be frank, the airlines don't know where they're going tomorrow, never mind in the fall of this year. I can say it's going to be an evening flight, and it most probably will arrive, give or take, in that mid-afternoon. Historically, on this itinerary, we use a few airlines: the United Lufthansa partnership, the Air France Delta partnership, or in some cases, the Emirates Airlines partnership.
Okay. Let's see here. And now some questions about once we're in Greece. Well, before that, are there any other stops possible for the bus transportation other than Lebanon?
Well, again, we can discuss that, but if we could, if I recall, the last time we did the transfers, we stopped at some service station or some pull-in on one of the freeways along the way. So we can, again, that's something that we can try our best. I think it was on the outskirts of Philly, if I'm not mistaken. We did on the past, on the way to the airport. So we can certainly do that again.
Okay. And now some Greece items. Do we need electric outlet adapters?
Yes, you do. And before we go, we're going to have a pre-departure meeting where we'll go through many of these things.
Okay.
So we'll go through all sorts of things: currency, electricity, weather, what to wear, etc. But yes, you're going to need an electrical adapter from the European plug to the US plug, and you're going to need a step-down transformer. It's 220 there, so you're going to need a step-down transformer from 220 to 110. Unless it's a new appliance like a smartphone, a camera, it's already built in there. But yes, you will.
Okay. Are the hotels and restaurants that we're going to be staying in non-smoking?
No. Now, having said that, our rooms are non-smoking. Restaurants, historically, we will have a restaurant and we will have an area in the restaurant. We can't stop locals from smoking, but I've never known it to be an issue. Our buses are non-smoking. Our rooms are non-smoking. The restaurants in the hotel are non-smoking. So it shouldn't be an issue. The airlines are non-smoking. So virtually everywhere is non-smoking. If somebody wants to sit outside and have a cigarette in the evening at the bar out on the terrace, not much we can do about that. But no, it's virtually non-smoking throughout.
Yeah, I think the question was more directed to our living quarters and where it will be predominantly.
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. Let's see here. We have two questions about tipping bus drivers and tour guides, and I'm sure you'll talk about that later, but that is a good question.
Well, I mean, you're asking the wrong person, really. As
Okay.
as an Englishman, there's a bit of humor that says, "What's the difference between an Englishman and a canoe? A canoe can tip." But we will, in those messages, in those documentation that was sent to you, we'll bring out the information of tipping for a tour director, which is historically, for the guide, it's between $8 and $10 per person per day.
Okay.
And for the tour director, between 3 and 4, and a driver 3 and 4.
Okay.
Maids, restaurant staff are all taken care of.
And what is the name of the hotel in Santorini for the extension where we'll be staying?
There's a few that we use. The Santorini Palace is one that we use. There's a few different ones we use, but we'll be able to inform you of that one in a while.
Okay. That was all the questions at the moment, apart from the smaller pieces where I know we'll get that information that's a little more detailed from irons in the room and things like that.
Yeah. So, and is there anything else for, as my grandmother would say, speak now or forever hold your peace?
We did get one more. Since you did note that it's a level 3 trip, if someone has a bit of trouble walking, will it be a problem?
You know, it's a very difficult question to answer, because I don't know what level you are in walking. So as long as you can get on and off of motor coaches, as long as you can conduct a walking tour, and let's just say if you can stand in one place for 20 to 25 minutes, if you can do a few steps, yes, you'll be perfectly fine with it. If you have an issue with it, there are some places, our guides are trained in group management, and you'll have a word with them and they'll point out a coffee bar where they'll come back and meet you. If you feel you can't make it to the top of the Acropolis, which I think you will, I've had people with walking issues in the past, just take it a little slower. There are some steps to get to the Acropolis, but once you're on the top, it's level and it's been worn smooth over centuries. So I think you'll be able to do it. But again, if you need a walker, if you need a wheelchair, I'm going to ask you to rethink. Okay. And importantly, if you want to talk to me, I'm open to talking on such a thing, such an intricate thing like that, and having a very personal and private conversation. We want to make sure you're happy, and we want to make sure you can go on the trip and explore as much as you can. So, but we've had people with walking sticks and be perfectly fine. Our average age of our traveler is between 70 and 75. And so if you're an active 70, 75-year-old, you'll be perfectly fine on this trip.
Are there any dress codes in Greece?
As long as you're wearing clothing, the police will stay away from you.
All right.
And even on some of the beaches, it doesn't matter, because there's nudist beaches too. Maybe not so much in October, November, however, but no, comfortable travel clothes. Shorts will be wearable at this time of year, polo type tops. Layered clothing is what I would recommend.
Okay. That was our last question.
Great.
Very exciting for everyone that was in the chat, since we were writing in here. I did list the registration link, the booking code. I also uploaded the brochure, and I will be following up tomorrow morning / afternoon with a follow-up here and the recording of this session. So I will include the brochure, all the links that you need, and everything that we've talked about here today to make things easier for you and for those who weren't able to participate today, because we did have about 50 people registered for the event today. So I'm sure they're all expecting the recording and those answers. So very exciting. Thank you so much. Just being able to see all the photos and get a walkthrough of the tour is very, very exciting.
You'll have a great, it's a beautiful, beautiful place to, shall we say, escape a little bit of cool weather.
And you had used the term revenge travel previously, and I've been using that when talking about traveling. Because
Right.
people are just going, they're going.
They're going. Now, again, my aim isn't to say sign up now, but if you know you want to go, do sign up as soon as we can. Based on, and I want to make it, based on social distancing travel, we're already 50% full of the first bus. Once we get the second bus, we have to have a wait list before we open the second bus. You've got nothing to lose by signing up and canceling 121 days from Aventura World. The insurance a different scenario, but you can get yourself on the trip and move on it from there. So hope you come, hope you experience our ouzo, our olive oil, and a bit of Greek sunshine.